Welcome to my channel. Again, an unplanned episode, but I thought, this is probably an interesting topic I thought I'd bring up. But before that, let me cover all the basic announcements. Firstly, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. And also, I have an ebook out called The Only Book You'll Need to Become a Commercial Film Director. It's only $5. So you can purchase that on my website at aswahan.com. It's also available on Amazon and other platforms out there like Kobo and Gumroad. Check that out, and also check out my socials, Instagram, Aswa_Han. I'm most active on Instagram, so yeah, I'm on Instagram story and reels. I update almost daily or every second day. So yeah, if you're interested in the things I'm up to, go follow me on my Instagram. To further your career as a commercial film director, you can also become a member on my Patreon. It's free, and there's also tiers from $1 to $5, and you get exclusive content by being a member on my Patreon. So yeah, all the descriptions down below. Go check that out. Today's topic is about understanding trends or being updated with trends in all areas as a director. As a director, I feel it's important to know the current trends in areas of both fashion, both interior design, in action, in just about everything. Because when it comes to commercials, for example, I'm, I guess you can call me in the millennial. Um, while most commercials that you'll be doing would be tailored for Gen Z, and I guess the next one's like Gen Alpha or something. But yeah, it's always good to not be considered a dinosaur, and that you somewhat know the trends that are out there. So, for example, I won't reveal my actual age, but I'm in my 40s. I constantly am on the lookout of what people are into via YouTube, via Instagram, by TikTok, or just going outside and seeing what people are into, shopping, what kind of fashion trends are out there. Also, not just checking like domestically, but also seeing what people are into in other countries. Even food, what kind of foods are trending, etc., etc. You can also know this via shorts, like YouTube Shorts and TikTok and stuff. You can usually what people are into. Like this is in all areas. Like I said, even with music and influences, and so yeah. So as a director, that's why the role of a director can be pretty difficult, and they are basically a jack of all trades in a way, because they have to know these things because
The only job that a director can do in a film of real value is to do something more than what will happen automatically. If the story is put on, if the actors are good, they find themselves around the cutter, the cameraman, everything. If a director is something of a cameraman, something of a cutter, something of an actor, something of a writer, and preferably completely a cameraman, completely a writer, completely an actor, then his contribution is a real one. Otherwise, he's simply the man that says, action, cut, take it a little slower, take it a little faster.
of course you might be a director that only does a certain kind of genre, right? Like maybe you might be just doing cars, or maybe you're a director that just does fashion, or maybe you're a director who just does food or other consumer goods, or technology. But there are times where, there are jobs that you might be doing that's totally not your, I guess, forte. For example, if you go to my website, You don't see all the jobs that I've done because there are certain jobs that I don't want to market myself as. Like I don't want to market myself as a food director, like a tabletop director or a comedy director, you know. So there are jobs that you do get, and of course you have to make a living, and you know there are months where you can't always get the jobs that you want. So sometimes you have to make small sacrifices and, you know, do a comedy spot or a beverage commercial, you know. And yeah, and with commercials, you know, the styles always change and they always want to know what you can bring to the table. And there's always scenes like even if you're doing a car commercial, it's not just the car that is featured. Sometimes you have a story where it's some architect in his home and he gets and he's looking for inspiration. So you got to kind of think, okay, if it's some sort of architect, like what would his home look like, you know? And so these are things where you have to kind of have some idea, you know, have some sort of sense in interior design, furniture, in even for wardrobe, like clothing, like what kind of clothes would he wear, like what kind of suit is popular these days, what kind of color is in. It's safe to always go with the safe colors like black or gray or white, but you know sometimes these things are seasonal, right? Like, you know, like a dark, like navy blue suit could be the trend of that season, you know. So it's always good to be aware of these things, like even fashion, you know. Yeah, because I get spots, sorry, briefs where it's some kind of like street fashion thing, tailored for Gen Zs. So I got to kind of know like, okay, what are Gen Zs wearing these days? You know, it's very different to when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, it used to be I don't know, it used to be like certain brands and stuff. But I find that with Gen Zs, you know, they like to wear things that are comfortable and loose and a bit baggy and, you know, shirts that are a bit, one size larger. While when I was in university, I remember clothes were more like, you know, fitted, you know. Yeah, not so baggy and stuff. But these days, yeah, the Gen Z look is definitely a thing, and you need to be aware of the things that they like and things that they wear and what kind of mannerisms. Because even when it comes to performance as well, like Gen Zs, like you know, you can't just go with what you think a Gen Z would act, but you kind of have to see, you know, what are Gen Zs like? Like, how do they act around people? Like, are they, say, more notifications? But in the industry, busy is good. I'll check that later. But yeah, so it's always good to be a jack of all trades. You know, you don't have to be a master at all areas, but it's good to have some idea in certain areas. Like for example, I'm very into interior design and furniture pieces. So in my case, yeah, like furniture is quite a thing because yeah, because I kind of decorated my own home and there's something that I have some idea on. So sometimes I get briefs where, you know, they want a certain look to a certain, you know, for the main character's home, and so I'll pinpoint, you know, what sort of furniture he or she should have in the house and where they should be placed. And you also got to look at the colors, color matching, you know, like do you want a more inviting kind of look to it, you know, a more comfortable look, then you have you know, like materials like wood and like warmer colors, and make sure that there's a window where natural light comes in. Then say to go with like colder colors like gray or blue, or like have materials that are made of metal or things like that, then it's important to be aware of these things when it comes to, yeah, art direction. So when you tell your art director, look, you know, for this home we want a colder look because we want to give off a more sophisticated feel throughout this video. Yeah, just a quick video about that. Just yeah, I think it's important for directors to have an interest in just all areas, even though it may not be your thing. I feel it's important to get yourself into these things because it is useful and it's also knowledge as well. And yeah, it could help you, especially in film directing. You basically, like I said, you're a jack of all trades, and you should know a thing or two about fashion, how Gen Zs or certain generations like how they act towards parents or towards their peers. Um, did I say fashion? Technology, what's the latest trends in technology? Are people not into Apple anymore? And they're more into Android or like these kind of things. Oh, maybe girls these days are more into those flip phones than say iPhone. Who knows? Art direction, like interior design. Food's important as well. Like what do people go out to eat these days? Or what's the popular thing? Like what's the popular thing to eat? The whole K-wave thing, like K-pop and even Korean food and stuff is starting to, become a thing which wasn't like let's say 10 or 20 years ago. It was basically non-existent. Now everyone's kind of into that whole K-wave and what's the trendy food, street food these days? Oh, tanghulu is the big craze these days because of ASMR and it's endless, endless. So yeah, just as a director, be aware of these things. Don't be just trapped at home. Go outside, see what people are into. See, always observe and see. Yeah, it's a real life lesson as well, but also it will help you as a director. It's also a good backup as well when you're trying to sell something, like maybe the client has the wrong idea of what Gen Zs are like, and you say, oh, actually Gen Zs actually act like this because the other day I went to the shopping center, or hey, I have a niece, she's a Gen Z nephew as well, and they act a certain way or they dress a certain way, and I would say very important points as a director to be aware of. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and let me know your thoughts. I could be wrong about some of these things, but these are just my thoughts and opinions. And yeah, leave a comment. I'd love to hear. And yeah, I basically reply back to all of them. So yeah, comment, share, give it a like, and subscribe. And until then, I'll see you on the next episode.